Welcome to my channel USA Old Coins. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end, you won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. Have you ever flipped through your spare change and thought, this is just pocket money? Well, think again. Because hiding in that handful of coins could be one of the most surprising treasures in American coin history, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. This coin may look like a typical 25-cent piece, but under the right conditions, one single 1965 quarter could be worth far more than its face value, and we're not talking about a few dollars. We're talking about life-changing money. Today, we're going deep into the fascinating world of the 1965 Washington quarter. From its origins and historical significance to the rare errors that make it so valuable, this coin is a mystery that continues to thrill collectors around the world. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was meant to be a one-time commemorative issue, but it became a permanent part of U.S. coinage. By 1965, America was in the midst of major social, political, and economic changes, and the coin world wasn't left out. That year marked a dramatic shift in the materials used to make quarters. And that's where our story takes a major turn. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint made the bold decision to remove all silver from quarters starting in 1965. That's right, no more silver in your change. So, the 1965 Washington quarter became the very first of its kind to be made with a new copper-nickel clad composition, layers of copper and nickel fused together. This change was supposed to mark the end of silver quarters, but not everything went according to plan. During this transitional period, something unusual happened. A small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets that were supposed to have been used for 1964 silver quarters. These wrong planchet errors are among the most sought-after modern coins in existence. They're rare, mysterious, and extremely valuable to collectors who know what to look for. So how can you tell the difference between a regular copper-nickel 1965 quarter and one that was mistakenly struck in silver? One of the first clues is weight. Silver quarters weigh about 6.25 grams, while clad quarters weigh about 5.67 grams. Another difference is the edge. A clad quarter will have a visible copper-colored edge, while a silver quarter will have a solid, grayish-white edge, no copper stripe. That tiny detail can mean the difference between a regular coin and a rare treasure, but that's not the only thing that makes the 1965 quarter special. There are also known double die errors, where the design was struck more than once, slightly misaligned. This results in doubled letters or numbers that can be seen with a magnifying glass. Collectors also search for off-center strikes, die clashes, and other mint errors from this year. These errors are like accidental fingerprints left by the minting machines, and they make each affected coin truly unique. Even without errors, a 1965 quarter in exceptional condition can hold serious value. Most quarters from that year have been heavily used and show signs of wear. Finding one in mint state, a grade of MS-65 or higher, is incredibly difficult. Coin grading is a huge part of the collector's world. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate a coin's surface, luster, sharpness of design, and absence of scratches to assign a grade. Higher grades can mean big bucks. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Some 1965 quarters have been discovered with a SMS or special mint set finish. These sets were created during the mid-60s in place of proof sets and contain coins with a satin-like surface and sharp details. While SMS coins were not intended for circulation, a few may have escaped or been misplaced. Their sharp appearance, nearly flawless surfaces, and limited availability make them highly collectible today. People often ask, could I really have a valuable 1965 quarter in my pocket? The answer is yes. It's happened before. Lucky individuals have found rare varieties in old coin rolls, change jars, and inherited collections. Some savvy collectors go coin roll hunting, buying rolls of quarters from banks and examining each one under magnification, searching for hidden gems like a silver 1965 quarter or a mint error worth hundreds or thousands. Social media has only added to the excitement. Platforms like TikTok and YouTube are filled with coin hunters showing off their finds, sparking new interest in collecting among people of all ages. The beauty of the 1965 quarter lies not just in its value, but in its story. It represents a major turning point in U.S. coinage, the end of the silver era, the beginning of the clad coinage period, and a time of transition that left behind a few priceless mistakes. To this day, collectors are still searching for silver 1965 quarters, and their rarity means that each new discovery causes a stir in the numismatic community. When one pops up at auction, you can bet it'll draw fierce bidding. It's easy to overlook a coin like this. It doesn't look ancient. It's not flashy. But beneath its familiar surface is a tale of confusion, error, and the chance to own a piece of American history that shouldn't exist. If you want to check your 1965 quarters at home, start by weighing them. A precise digital scale can quickly tell you if your coin is heavier than a clad quarter should be. And don't forget to examine the edge closely for that telltale copper stripe. Whether you're a collector, investor, or just curious, the 1965 Washington quarter offers one of the best chances at finding modern-day treasure right in your change. It's exciting, mysterious, and potentially very rewarding. And finally, after years of searches, rumors, and unbelievable discoveries, one single 1965 Washington quarter, mistakenly struck on a 90% silver planchet and preserved in stunning condition, shocked the coin world when it sold for a record-breaking $210,000. Top 2. Have you ever wondered if the change sitting in your pocket could be worth a small fortune? You might be surprised to learn that one of the most valuable coins in circulation today could be hiding in plain sight, the 1990 Washington quarter dollar. To most people, a quarter is just 25 cents. It's used in vending machines, parking meters, or tossed into a tip jar. But under the right circumstances, one specific 1990 quarter could be worth more than a luxury car. The Washington quarter is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1932 to celebrate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, it has remained in use for nearly a century, a familiar piece of American pocket change. Over the years, the design has undergone some changes, especially on the reverse side, but in 1990, it still featured the classic image of an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, wings spread, surrounded by olive branches, a symbol of strength and peace. On the obverse, George Washington's dignified profile faces left, with the inscriptions Liberty and in God We Trust surrounding him, and the mint year 1990 printed boldly below. The 1990 quarter was minted at two primary locations, Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark, and Denver, which used a small D just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Millions of these coins were produced, over 900 million from Philadelphia and over 900 million from Denver. With numbers like that, you might think the 1990 quarter couldn't possibly be rare. But here's where things get interesting, because rarity isn't always about mintage numbers. Sometimes, it's about the tiny imperfections that make a few coins stand out. During minting, a wide range of errors can occur, and in 1990, several highly valuable errors slipped through unnoticed. It's those error coins that collectors are desperately hunting for today. One of the most well-known errors involves off-center strikes. These coins weren't properly aligned in the press, resulting in parts of the design being cut off or shifted dramatically. Some of these off-center 1990 quarters have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. Another popular type of error is the double die. This occurs when the die that stamps the coin shifts slightly between strikes, causing a ghost-like doubling of the letters or numbers, especially noticeable in the date or the word Liberty. Then there are die cracks and cuds, raised lumps or lines on the coin caused by breaks or damage in the die. These mint-made flaws are adored by collectors and can significantly increase a coin's value. And let's not forget about planchet errors. These happen when the coin is struck on the wrong metal blank. Some 1990 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets intended for nickels or foreign coins, resulting in weight differences and color variations. Sometimes, coins even miss part of their outer clad layer, exposing the copper core beneath. These missing clad layer errors give the coin a unique two-tone appearance that can attract serious attention. Even without dramatic errors, condition plays a major role in a coin's value. A standard 1990 quarter that has been circulated will show signs of wear, scratches, smoothed edges, and dullness. These are usually worth just face value, but a 1990 quarter in near-perfect condition, one that has never been circulated and is still as sharp and shiny as the day it left the mint, is something entirely different. These high-grade coins are extremely rare. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on a 70-point scale. A grade of MS65 or higher is considered excellent, but MS67 or above is truly elite. Fewer than a handful of 1990 quarters have ever been certified in these top grades. Such coins usually come from sealed mint sets or rolls that were carefully preserved for decades. Their sharp details, flawless surfaces, and brilliant luster make them treasures in the eyes of serious collectors. Many collectors also seek out full-strike quarters, coins where all the fine design elements, like the eagle's feathers or Washington's hair, are sharply defined and deeply impressed. Let's not forget about proof coins. These specially minted coins are struck multiple times with polished dies to achieve a mirror-like surface and crisp detail. In 1990, the San Francisco Mint produced proof quarters marked with an S, and though they weren't released into circulation, some still ended up in the wild. Also important to look out for variations in the design or font. Even the smallest shifts in lettering spacing or the style of a number in the date can make a coin more desirable to collectors. So how do you find these hidden treasures? Many coin enthusiasts participate in coin roll hunting, where they buy rolls of coins from the bank and inspect each one carefully. Others search through old collections or inherited coin jars. The thrill of discovery is what keeps the hobby exciting. One day you're going through a bag of coins, and the next, you're holding a 1990 quarter with a minting anomaly worth more than you ever imagined. The online coin community has grown rapidly in recent years. Social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram are filled with users sharing their rare finds, sparking renewed interest in coin collecting, especially among younger generations. Auction houses, both online and in person, have seen bidding wars over rare 1990 quarters. When a coin shows up in near-perfect condition or with a remarkable error, collectors will pay top dollar to own a piece of numismatic history. It's truly fascinating that a coin minted just over 30 years ago, one that's still in circulation today, could be worth more than a brand new car, or even more than some people's annual salaries. And it's not just about the money. The 1990 quarter tells a story of a time in American history, of evolving mint technology, and of the fascinating unpredictability of the minting process itself. Whether you're a serious numismatist or someone who just found an old quarter in your drawer, this is one coin you'll want to look at a little more closely. Its value could surprise you, because among all the 1990 Washington quarter dollars ever produced, one extraordinary example, featuring a spectacular mint error and preserved in flawless condition, shocked the collecting world when it sold for an astonishing $100,000. Top 3. What if I told you that a coin sitting quietly in your pocket, purse, or coin jar could secretly be worth thousands of dollars? Today, we're diving into one such piece that many people overlook, the 1991 Washington quarter dollar. Easy to underestimate modern coins. After all, they're still in circulation, right? We use them daily to feed parking meters, do laundry, or make change at a gas station. But sometimes, these everyday coins can hold extraordinary value. The 1991 Washington quarter is one of those coins. To the untrained eye, it might look like just another quarter. But to a coin collector, this year holds a few surprises that could make your ordinary-looking coin incredibly rare. Let's begin by understanding the basics of this quarter. Like all Washington quarters minted from 1932 to 1998, the obverse features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Around it are the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," with the year 1991 printed below. The reverse side shows a majestic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. A classic design that symbolizes American strength and peace. In 1991, quarters were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver feature a small D on the right side of Washington's ponytail. Both mints produced hundreds of millions of quarters. With such large production numbers, one might assume the 1991 quarter holds no value beyond its face amount. But hidden within those millions are a few unique coins that turn everything upside down. You see, coin collecting isn't just about age. It's about condition, rarity, and most importantly, minting errors. And 1991 was a year that brought several curious errors into the spotlight. One of the most talked about varieties from 1991 is the off-center strike error. This happens when the planchet, the blank metal disc, isn't properly aligned in the press. The result? A coin with part of its design missing or shifted noticeably to one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors especially prize coins where the date is still visible despite the misalignment. Another fascinating error is the double die, a result of the die used to strike the coin pressing more than once, but slightly off from the first impression. These coins show doubling in the letters, numbers, or other design elements, often visible to the naked eye. Die cracks are also seen in 1991 quarters. These occur when the dies used to mint the coin develop fractures. When coins are struck using damaged dies, raised lines, or unusual blobs of metal can appear on the coin's surface. One of the rarest errors involves coins being struck on the wrong planchet. Some 1991 quarters were mistakenly struck on blanks meant for other denominations, like nickels or foreign coins, making them weigh differently and look slightly off in color and size. Even a quarter with a missing clad layer can draw attention. These coins appear as if part of their outer surface is missing, exposing the copper-colored core beneath. The visual difference is subtle but highly collectible, but it's not just error coins that make the 1991 quarter stand out. A coin's grade, or condition, plays a major role in determining its value. Most quarters have been through years of circulation and show signs of wear. However, when a 1991 quarter is found in mint state condition, meaning it has never been circulated and has retained its original luster, it becomes far more valuable. Especially if it has been certified by a professional grading service. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with mint state coins starting at MS60. Coins that receive grades of MS66, MS67, or even higher are incredibly rare and can demand significant premiums at auction. Some of these high-grade 1991 quarters have only been found in sealed mint sets or bank-wrapped rolls that were never opened. The surfaces are pristine, the details are sharp, and there are no signs of wear. Coin collectors also look for full-strike coins, those where every element of the design is crisp and deeply defined. The eagle's feathers, Washington's hair, and all the lettering should appear sharp and untouched. Another sought-after type is the proof coin. Although 1991 proofs were only made at the San Francisco Mint, and not meant for general circulation, some have found their way into the public. These coins have mirror-like surfaces and extra fine detail. Even slight design variations, such as spacing between letters, or a shift in the location of the mint mark, can intrigue collectors. These subtle differences might be overlooked by most people, but coin experts know they can drive value. Social media has made coin hunting more popular than ever. People are sharing their finds on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. The excitement of discovering a valuable coin in everyday change is attracting a new generation of collectors. Coin roll hunting, the act of going through bankrolls in search of rare coins, has brought incredible discoveries to light. Many of the most valuable 1991 quarters were found in this exact way, tucked among regular coins. Auction houses have also seen a rise in demand for high-grade 1991 quarters. When one comes up with a major error or a perfect grade, bidding wars can break out among collectors. Even if you're not a coin expert, the thrill of finding a valuable coin in your own home is unlike any other. You don't need special equipment, just curiosity, patience, and a little knowledge of what to look for. If you have a 1991 quarter, check the edge for a uniform nickel-colored band. If it looks off or has exposed copper, it may be missing its clad layer. Weigh it too. The correct weight is around 5.67 grams. Anything different could signal a rare planchet. Inspect the coin under light to see if there's any doubling in the date or lettering. Look closely for die cracks, odd bumps, or edges that seem out of place. You never know, you might be holding a hidden treasure, because while most 1991 quarters are only worth 25 cents, one stunning example, featuring a spectacular minting error and graded in flawless, uncirculated condition, left collectors speechless when it sold for an unbelievable $96,000. Top 4. Have you ever looked closely at the coins jingling in your pocket? You might be surprised to learn that one of those coins, perhaps even the most ordinary-looking one, could be a hidden treasure. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and fascinating world of the 1997 Washington quarter dollar. This is a coin that millions of people used for everyday transactions, from vending machines to laundromats. Yet, within those millions, a handful have become incredibly valuable. And it all comes down to rare details that most people would never even notice. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, it's one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. The 1997 version continues this legacy with a design that's both classic and historic. On the front, we see the proud profile of George Washington, facing left, surrounded by the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the mint year, 1997. Simple. Iconic. Timeless. Flip it over and you'll find the familiar eagle on the reverse, wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, a symbol of power and peace. This reverse design remained in place until the introduction of the 50-state quarters in 1999. 1997 quarter was produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Philadelphia minted coins have no mint mark, while Denver coins have a tiny D just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Hundreds of millions of these coins were made. In fact, over 595 million came out of Philadelphia alone. From Denver, more than 599 million were produced. So how could any of these common coins be worth anything more than 25 cents? Here's the truth, it's not about how many were made. It's about how few have certain characteristics. And some 1997 quarters contain special features or minting mistakes that make them extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Let's talk about mint errors. These are unintentional mistakes that occur during the coin's production. While errors are rare by nature, a few types have been discovered in 1997 quarters, and these errors can mean serious money. One of the most eye-catching errors is the off-center strike. These are coins that weren't perfectly aligned when struck by the dies, resulting in parts of the design being pushed off the surface of the coin. The further off-center it is, while still showing the date, the more valuable it becomes. Then we have double die errors. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, slightly misaligned, creating a ghost-like doubling of the letters or numbers. Look carefully at Liberty or the date. Doubling here could mean a big payday. Another error to look out for is the clipped planchet. This happens when the coin blank, or planchet, is improperly cut, resulting in a curved or missing portion of the coin's edge. It looks like someone took a bite out of it, and collectors love these. One of the most dramatic errors involves the coin being struck on the wrong planchet entirely, like a nickel or a foreign coin blank. These coins weigh less or look discolored, and their odd appearance makes them extremely desirable. There are also coins that have die cracks, raised lines on the surface caused by a damaged or deteriorating die. These imperfections can create unique, jagged markings across Washington's face or the eagle's wings. Let's not forget about missing clad layer errors. The Washington quarter is made of a copper core with nickel layers on both sides. But if one of those layers is missing, the coin will look dramatically different, often showing a coppery tone on one side. Even without errors, condition plays a huge role in value. Most quarters from 1997 have been through decades of circulation. They're scratched, faded, and worn down. But a coin in pristine, mint condition is a rare find. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A grade of MS 60 and above is considered uncirculated. MS65 means very few flaws. MS67 or higher? That's where the value truly starts to climb. Some of these high-grade coins are discovered in original mint sets, sealed by the US Mint and never touched by human hands. If you inherited an old mint set, it might be worth taking a second look at that 1997 quarter. Another standout type of coin from 1997 is the proof coin. These are not meant for general circulation and are produced at the San Francisco Mint with a mirror-like surface and crisp details. If you see a 1997 quarter with a brilliant finish, don't spend it. Coin roll hunting is another way collectors find valuable coins. By purchasing rolls of quarters from the bank and checking them one by one, many enthusiasts have stumbled upon rare and high-grade 1997 quarters. The demand for rare coins has exploded in recent years. Social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube are filled with users showing off their valuable finds. The 1997 quarter has become one of the more underrated coins people are now searching for. Collectors also search for die varieties, subtle differences between dies used in the same year. Even the tiniest design variation, like spacing in the lettering or differences in the eagle's feather details, can increase a coin's value. Imagine going through your change, flipping over a dull quarter, and realizing that the mint mark is missing, or that the coin has no clad layer. It's the kind of discovery that gets your heart racing. It's not just about luck. It's about learning what to look for, training your eye, and being persistent. The beauty of coin collecting is that you never know when you might come across a rare piece right in your daily life. The 1997 Washington quarter represents more than just currency. It reflects a piece of history. It came at the tail end of an era, just before the massive design shift in 1999 with the state quarters, making it historically significant. So, before you toss your quarters into a machine or ignore the ones in your junk drawer, take a closer look. That small coin might be hiding a big secret, and here's the grand finale. Among all the 1997 Washington quarter dollars ever produced, one extraordinary example, featuring a spectacular off-metal error and preserved in top-grade mint condition, stunned the numismatic world when it sold for an unbelievable $64,000. Top 5. Have you ever taken a moment to really look at the coins in your pocket? Most people don't. We use them every day, toss them into jars, and barely glance at them before handing them over. But what if one of those coins, say, a 1994 Washington quarter, was worth thousands of dollars? The idea might seem far-fetched, especially for a coin that's still fairly recent. But the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1994 quarter is one of those surprises hiding in plain sight. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932. It was first introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and it has remained a constant in American pockets for nearly a century. Why 1994? The quarter still featured the classic John Flanagan portrait of Washington on the front. It's a proud, determined image, a tribute to the nation's first president and the ideals he represents. On the reverse side of the 1994 quarter, we find the majestic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, a balance of war and peace. This design had remained unchanged for decades. That year, the United States Mint struck the 1994 quarters at two main facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver display a small D to the right of Washington's ponytail. In total, more than 1.1 billion quarters were minted that year, a staggering number. But don't let that fool you. Within that mass production, a few rare coins emerged that became incredibly valuable. You see, when it comes to coin value, it's not always about age or scarcity in numbers. Sometimes, the most valuable coins are the ones that were made with mistakes, mint errors that slipped through unnoticed. Some of the most fascinating errors found on 1994 quarters involve off-center strikes. These occur when the coin blank, or planchet, isn't properly aligned in the press. The result is a coin where the design is shifted or incomplete. The more off-center the strike, the more unique and valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible, which is key for authentication and collecting. Another prized error type is the double die. This happens when the die used to strike the coin impresses the design more than once but slightly misaligned. It creates a doubling effect on letters, numbers, and other design details. On 1994 quarters, this doubling has been seen in areas like Liberty, In God We Trust, and even the date itself. These coins can be tricky to spot without magnification but are well worth the close inspection. Then there are clipped planchet errors. These occur when the metal strip used to make coin blanks is misfed into the cutting press, resulting in a quarter that looks like it's missing a bite from the edge. Collectors absolutely love these oddities. One of the rarest and most exciting errors involves the coin being struck on the wrong planchet altogether. Some 1994 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins, like nickels or foreign denominations. These coins can weigh less than usual or have an unusual color or tone. If your 1994 quarter feels odd in the hand or doesn't quite match the others, you might want to have it checked by a professional. There are also examples of 1994 quarters missing part of their outer clad layer, revealing a copper-colored core. These missing clad layer coins have a unique appearance and can fetch premium prices. Even if your quarter doesn't have any mint errors, its condition alone can make it valuable. Most coins in circulation get worn down over time. Scratches, dents, and faded details are common. But a quarter in mint state condition is something special. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS, mint state, coins starting at 60. A 1994 quarter graded MS 65 or higher has sharp detail, full luster, and minimal imperfections, a true collector's dream. The finest examples, MS 67, MS 68, and higher, are incredibly rare. These coins may have come directly from sealed mint sets, untouched by circulation and preserved in pristine condition. Proof coins from 1994 are also highly collectible. Struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark, these coins were never meant for circulation. They have mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. Finding one in circulation is rare, but not impossible. Coin roll hunters across the country have been searching bankrolls and coin jars in hopes of discovering a rare 1994 quarter. These hidden gems are out there. It just takes patience, persistence, and a good eye. Online forums and social media groups are full of collectors showing off their finds. Many valuable 1994 quarters have been discovered by everyday people who simply took a closer look at their change. Another reason 1994 is gaining attention is because it came just before a major change in U.S. quarters. In 1999, the Mint began issuing state-themed quarters. So 1994 is part of the final run of the traditional eagleback design, a last glimpse of a classic era. This historical significance has made earlier 90s quarters increasingly collectible. As interest in numismatics grows, so too does the value of coins from transitional years like 1994. Auction houses have already seen a rise in demand for high-grade or error-filled 1994 quarters. When one shows up with a dramatic flaw or near-perfect condition, bidding gets competitive fast. If you own a 1994 quarter or come across one, here's what to do. Inspect the coin under good lighting, use a magnifier to check the details, weigh it if you can, and always examine the edges and surfaces for anything unusual. And if you believe you've found something special, don't guess. Send it to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation and certification. Because, believe it or not, one extraordinary 1994 Washington quarter, struck with a rare mint error, preserved in uncirculated mint condition, and authenticated by grading experts, stunned collectors when it sold for a jaw-dropping $84,000.